Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Donald Trump transition team plans immediate WHO withdrawal on day one in office. Experts fear exit will cripple the resources and damage the ability to tackle emergencies. Israel admits killing of Hamas leader Haniyeh in Iran for the first time. Prime Minister Netanyahu reports progress on hostages deal but offers no timeline. Amidst reeling from months of political turmoil, France unveils fresh government with budget battle looming. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to visit the US to discuss key bilateral, regional and global issues with US officials. US President-elect Donald Trump is planning to pull Washington out of the World Health Organization on day one of his second administration. It is one of the many things he promises to execute on January 20th. Though this will not be for the first time, Trump has tried to lead a US exit from the WHO. In 2020, Trump began the process of leaving the organization amid the spread of COVID-19. At the time, he accused the WHO of being under the control of Beijing and criticized its response to the COVID-19 pandemic. He sent a 4-page letter to the WHO director suspending funds.
And we are by far the largest contributor to WHO, World Health, and they misled us. I don't know. They must have known more than they knew because they came after what other people knew that weren't even involved. We knew things that they didn't know, and either they didn't know or they didn't tell us, or, right now they're literally a pipe organ for China. That's the way I view it.
Trump has nominated several critics of the organization to top public health positions, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic who is up for the post of Secretary of Health and Human Services, which oversees all major U.S. health agencies, including the CDC and FDA. At a press briefing on December 10th, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the WHO will be giving time and space for the transition to the new government in the U.S.
We're ready to work together, and the relationship between WHO and the US, the United States, has been actually a good model of partnership and has been partnering for many years, and we believe that that will be the case. And I believe the US leaders understand that the US cannot be safe unless the rest of the world is safe.
Donald Trump, after he takes office, is likely to conduct a foreign policy that is not constrained by diplomatic diplomacy, as seen by his unexpected threat to seize control of the Panama Canal. Now, why is the Panama Canal so important? Let's find out in this report.
Latin American leaders on Monday rallied to Panama's defense after US President-elect Donald Trump threatened to reimpose US control over the Panama Canal, a key global shipping route located in the Central American nation. Speaking to a crowd of supporters in Arizona, US President-elect Donald Trump said he would not let the canal fall into the wrong hands. Trump threatened to reassert the country's control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American passage and drawing a sharp rebuke from Panamanian President Jose Raul Mulino.
I want to express that every square meter of Panama Canal and its adjacent areas belong to Panama and will continue to belong to Panama. The sovereignty and independence of our country are not negotiable.
Other leaders have also responded to the US President-elect's comments, including Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, who expressed support for Panama's government, while Greenland's elected leaders said the Greenland is not for sale, responding to Trump's comments regarding the ownership and control of the vast Arctic island that has been part of Denmark for over 600 years. Looking at Panama, there are some major points to know about the Panama waterway connecting the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The 80-kilometer interoceanic waterway is operated by the Panama Canal Authority, an autonomous public entity. Panama's constitution describes the canal as an inalienable heritage of the Panamanian nation that is open to vessels of all nations. The United States is its main user, accounting for 74% of cargo, followed by China with 21%. Washington's establishment of a canal zone, an enclave with its own military bases, police and justice system gave rise to decades of demands by Panamanians to reunify the country and take control of the waterway. Unlike Egypt's Suez Canal, the Panama Canal operates using fresh water stored in two reservoirs. Crafts can travel between the two oceans in about 8 hours without having to sail all the way around Cape Horn, the southern tip of the Americas. 5% of world maritime trade passes through the canal, which connects more than 1,900 ports in 170 countries. More than 11,200 ships transited the canal in the last fiscal year, carrying 423 million tons of cargo. Antara Sinha's report for DD India.
Further, Trump's consistent backing of TikTok has fueled speculation about possible solution to prevent the app from being banned in the US. As the future of Chinese app remains uncertain, Trump says he has a warm spot in his heart for TikTok.
US President-elect Donald Trump's repeated support for TikTok has sparked speculation about potential solutions to prevent the app's impending ban in the United States. Trump credits the wildly popular platform with delivering him a large young user base. He opposes banning TikTok also because he believes it would primarily benefit Instagram and Facebook. Congress overwhelmingly passed legislation in April that would block TikTok unless Beijing-based ByteDance sells its stake by January 19. US lawmakers grew wary in the potential of the Chinese government to influence ByteDance or access the data of TikTok's American users. Even with Trump's decisive election victory, preventing the ban faces significant hurdles. The law enjoyed rare bipartisan support in Washington, making its outright repeal through the vote in Congress politically unlikely. TikTok has appealed to the Supreme Court, arguing the law violates First Amendment rights to free speech. The court is dominated by Trump-aligned conservatives. It will hear the case on January 10th, 9 days before the ban takes effect. Another possibility is that the Department of Justice could determine ByteDance has addressed the law's national security concerns or not. The final option is ByteDance selling to a non-Chinese buyer. As precedent, Trump could extend the ban deadline by 90 days to facilitate the transaction. This isn't the first attempt to resolve TikTok's US status. In 2020, Trump also threatened a ban unless ByteDance sold its US operations. Bureau Report, DD India.
For the first time, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has publicly acknowledged the assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Iran in July. The move might escalate tensions between Tehran and Israel in a region already rocked by Israel's conflict with Hamas and Hezbollah. Warning Houthis, Katz also said that Israel troops would also decapitate the leadership of Houthi rebels. Until now, Israel had never admitted to killing Haniyeh, but Iran and Hamas had blamed it for the Hamas political leader's death. Haniyeh was killed in a guest house in Tehran on July 31st. Israel has also allegedly killed Nasrallah in a Beirut bombing on September 27th, which was followed by the killing of Haniyeh's successor, Sinwar, on October 16th.
These days, when the Houthi terrorist organization is firing missiles at Israel, I want to convey a clear message to them at the beginning of my remarks. We have defeated Hamas, we have won over Hezbollah, we have blinded Iran's defense systems and damaged the production systems, we have toppled the Assad regime in Syria, we have dealt a severe blow to the axis of evil, and we will also deal a severe blow to the Houthi terrorist organization in Yemen, which remains the last to stand and fire at Israel. We will damage its strategic infrastructure and we will behead its leaders, just as we did to Haniyeh, Sinwar, and Nasrallah in Tehran, Gaza, and Lebanon. We will do it in Hodeidah and Sana'a. Whoever will raise his hand to Israel, his hand will be severed. The IDF's long arm will harm him and will settle the score.
תפגע בו ותבוא איתו חשבון.
Meanwhile, in the ongoing hostage talks with Hamas, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated on Monday that a certain progress had been achieved, but he did not specify how long it would take to see the results. During a speech in Israel's Knesset, Netanyahu said that Israel had made great achievements militarily on several fronts and that military pressure on Hamas had led its leaders to soften their previous demands. In recent days, indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas mediated by Qatar, Egypt and the United States took place in Doha, rekindling hope of an agreement that has proven elusive. South Korea's opposition plans to impeach acting President Han Duck-soo in protest at the interim leader's refusal to sign into law special bills to investigate his impeached predecessor. The main opposition Democratic Party had set Christmas Eve as the deadline for Han to promulgate two special bills investigating suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol's short-lived imposition of martial law, as well as grant allegations surrounding his wife. Han, who stepped in to replace Yoon, rejected the opposition's demand at a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, insisting on bipartisan agreements for the two bills. The opposition is seeking two special independent investigative bodies to look into Yoon's martial law declaration and the controversial affairs of First Lady Kim, including alleged bribery. France's Macron unveiled a new government on Monday in the hope that his administration can see off another vote of no confidence from a bitterly divided parliament. The country's fourth government since the beginning of the year comprises of former ministers and senior civil servants. One of the government's first tasks, led by François Bayrou, appointed by Emmanuel Macron 10 days ago, would be to draw up a 2025 budget bill and reduce budget deficit, which is expected to reach 6% GDP by the end of the year, well above the 3% of the GDP the European Union requires from the member states. With the new government in place, Bayrou said that his picks would steer the country towards unity and stability and would provide answers to citizens gripped by worry and fears of insecurity.
I will do everything I can so that we move from the situation of a country divided, exploded, fragmented, torn apart to a country where we can perhaps come together to solve the country's problems. And I demonstrate it in government, I demonstrate it, I hope, in the way I approach problems.
Nepalese government has issued a 3-point travel advisory asking for its citizens planning to travel to Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia and Laos to adopt precaution. In the travel advisory, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs noted that Nepali nationals are requested not to travel on a visit visa for foreign employment and to obtain adequate information about foreign firms, companies and employers through the Nepali missions abroad. Lately, it has been reported that racketeers involved in human trafficking and other criminal activities have been forcing Nepali nationals into illegal activities in these countries on the temptation of attractive salaries. The ministry said that there have been reports of problems such as employers confiscating their passports, engaging employees for 12 to 13 hours a day, excessive torture and non-payment of salaries. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urged all concerned not to be involved in such illegal activities, for it is punishable under the law. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, India celebrates National Consumer Day, focus on virtual hearings and digital access to consumer justice. Celebrities, politicians and admirers pay heartfelt tributes to the legendary filmmaker Shyam Benegal. And Ava, Thailand's cute golden tiger, goes viral. Internet cannot keep with her cuteness. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit the US from 24 to 29th of December. Minister Jaishankar will meet US officials to discuss bilateral, regional and global issues. During the visit, the minister will also chair a conference of the Consuls General of India in the US. December 24th is observed as the National Consumer Day across the country. The theme of this year's edition of National Consumer Day is virtual hearings and digital access to consumer justice. Deepika Mathur takes you through the significance of this day, historical facts and what are the major initiatives launched this year to protect the rights of the consumers. Take a look.
24th December is observed as National Consumer Day every year across India with an aim to empower, enlighten and understand the changing consumer pattern of the country. Be it online consumers or offline, India boasts a thick share of consumers around the world. Interestingly, it was the Consumer Protection Act in the year 1986 that received the presidential assent and was enacted. The law then came into effect to safeguard the interests and rights of the consumers, ensuring that they are protected against unfair trade practices, fraud and exploitation. In the year 2024, the Consumer Day is being celebrated with the theme Virtual Hearings and Digital Access to Consumer Justice. The theme corresponds with the objectives of the new Consumer Protection Act 2019 that is aimed at providing speedy, cost-effective and hassle-free justice to the consumers. The amended Act highlights the importance of digital medium and tools in ensuring that consumers can access justice in an increasingly online world. And on the occasion, the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Minister of New and Renewable Energy launched various key initiatives on the National Consumer Day for the protection of consumer rights. Some of the highlights are signing of safety pledge by major e-commerce platforms, which is a voluntary commitment for ensuring consumer safety. Launch of Jago Grahak Jago app, Jagriti app and Jagriti dashboard to protect consumers from the dark pattern. Launch of e-map portal for all services legal metrology services. Dedication of software testing facility for weighing and measuring instrument. With such initiatives, the government keeps on emphasizing on the consumer rights and the protection of those rights as well. At the same time, it is also important for the consumers to be educated about these rights and practice them in their daily lives. Deepika's report for DD India.
With cold conditions intensifying, some regions of northern India have been reeling under severe cold, with temperatures in Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir falling below the freezing point. This winter, the Met Department has also forecast below normal cold wave in Northwest India. Over the past few days, the cold wave has been tearing through the states of Rajasthan, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. In Kashmir and other high-altitude regions, freezing temperatures have caused water pipelines to freeze and disrupted hydropower generation due to snow-fed rivers turning into ice. The yellow alert warns of persistent fog in Bhakra Dam area and Bal Valley in Himachal, further complicating daily life. The Weather Office has predicted rain in the national capital after Christmas from December 26th to 28th due to interaction of a western disturbance in the region and a low-pressure area over Bay of Bengal. The weather phenomena is expected to intensify the chill. The picturesque capital of Himachal Pradesh, Shimla, transformed into a winter wonderland on Monday as light snowfall blanketed the Queen of Hills in pristine white. The much-awaited fresh snowfall brought smiles to the faces of the locals and tourists alike. Tourists flocked to the town's scenic spots to enjoy the mesmerizing views and the joy of experiencing falling snow. The winter wonderland turned into a logistical nightmare as around 1,000 vehicles got stuck, while tourists were stranded in their vehicles for hours between Solang and Atal Tunnel in Rohtang. Later, police launched a rescue operation and shifted around 700 tourists to safer places. Kashmir also experienced fresh spell of snowfall. The prominent regions in the valley like Srinagar, Pahalgam and Gulmarg, among others, have transformed into a snowy wonderland, adding a Christmas touch to the region. The higher altitudes too have been graced with snow. Key figure of the Indian parallel cinema, veteran director and screenwriter Shyam Benegal passed away at the age of 90 on Monday. Shyam Benegal breathed his last at a Mumbai hospital where he was undergoing treatment for chronic kidney disease. He was a recipient of several awards, including Dadasaheb Phalke Award, National Film Awards, Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan for his outstanding contribution to the field of arts during a career spanning around 6 decades. His acclaimed films include Manthan, Zubeda and Sardari Begum. Blessed with boundless creative energy, he reinvented himself as a director at different stages of his career. He also experimented with different themes, subjects and formats and made over 20 feature films, 70 documentaries and short films. What was remarkable is that most of his work stood the test of time and remains relevant even today. President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled the death of the late filmmaker and praised his storytelling. In a tweet, the President said, and I quote, "The passing away of Shri Shyam Benegal marks the end of a glorious chapter of Indian cinema and television. He started a new kind of cinema and crafted several classes, a veritable institution. He groomed many actors and artists. His extraordinary contribution was recognized in the form of numerous awards, including Dadasaheb Phalke Award and Padma Bhushan. My condolences to the members of his family and his countless admirers." Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I quote him, "Deeply saddened by the passing of Shri Shyam Benegal ji, whose storytelling had a profound impact on Indian cinema. His works will continue to be admired by people from different walks of life. Condolences to his family and admirers. Om Shanti." And now we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. In Prayagraj district of Uttar Pradesh, preparations are underway for Mahakumbh Mela 2025. Extensive beautification is being undertaken, including creation of 60 artifacts, with 30 displayed at the Mela campus and 30 showcased at the Uttar Pradesh Museum Directorate. The Mahakumbh, held once every 12 years, is scheduled to begin on January 13th and will conclude on February 26th. BCG vaccination campaign was organized in Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir to combat tuberculosis. Authorities have requested all citizens to take advantage of the drive and contact their nearest health centers, clinics or TB staff for further information. Notably, as a signatory to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, India is committed to meeting the target of ending TB by 2025, 5 years ahead of the SDG deadline of 2030. Pre-celebrations for Christmas festivities are in full swing in India. On the occasion, the 50th annual cake show was organized at Palace Grounds in Bengaluru city. Cakes in the shape of Nadaprabhu Kempagowda were some of the highlights, among other very creative and intricate shapes. Meanwhile, Christmas decorations in India's southern state of Karnataka illuminated the streets. Many churches were seen all decked up with intricate lights for the festivities. Ava and Luna, two rare 3-year-old golden tigers, have emerged as the new sensation at Thailand's Chiang Mai Night Safari. The visitors from around the globe are mesmerized with their dazzling golden coats and kitten-like features. Ava and Luna's tiger show at the zoo has also sent ticket sales soaring, with a 500-seat stadium selling out for every performance. The golden tiger population has dwindled to a critically low level, with only a handful of individuals remaining in the world. The majority of these rare animals are being cared for in controlled environments such as zoos. India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audience. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. With that reminder, we end this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at In Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.